I don't usually rate my guests, but you are by far the best guest I've ever had on, and you haven't even said anything.
It's a lot of pressure.
You're also the prettiest.
Mm-hmm.
If I might be so forward, the sexiest.
Am I the only female?
Ever? Wow, that's interesting. Possibly.
Am I the only person who's never put on shoes for you?
I think that's amazing. You're the only person who's walked out of that place that they live into our set. So
why have you brought me here today?
Because I want to tell you how much I love you, and I appreciate you, and
this is getting awkward.
It's getting awkward because I am going to cry.
Wow.
I don't know. I mean, I know that people want to know you, and I think that they learn a little bit about me when they get to meet you. And you're kind of someone who's always around, but you're not someone who says a lot. You're on camera only when I make you be on camera.
Correct.
And we're coming up on our 11-year anniversary.
Who would have thought? Wait, what?
What does that mean?
I don't know. What?
What happened?
Was that French?
So we met in New York.
You're like talking about our whole relationship.
I don't know. No, this can be about anything. You know what I really want to talk about? I want you to have fun with this, because I want to do a weekly podcast with you up there on the catio of our home.
Do you know how loud we would be to the neighbors?
Doesn't matter.
No, it does matter. We would be so loud, like right into their bedroom, and they would just like.
We could have the back catio, and we do it back there, and we have cats running amok. Some of them doing silly things and dropping toys at our feet. It'd be amazing. Why don't we start by you saying the top 20 things you like about me?
Did you say 5?
I'll take 1.
I like your shoes.
All right. We're getting someplace. So yeah, look.
I was doing a live today. Well, not like a live, but I was I was taking questions from my subscribers.
Okay.
And the first question was.
So by the way, that's Instagram has a new subscription thing.
Yeah.
Where you put out all this content, but you can give extra content to people that are subscribing.
That's correct.
I subscribe.
Thank you. Maybe you don't want to watch today's. But anyways,
Where's
so
my
like
phone? Damn it.
The first question was like,
can you grab my phone from
it's
my
right
desk?
Here. It's right here.
Oh.
And you have like a little, what is this?
What's that?
A notebook? What? Was there like sexy pictures in here?
Get out of here.
Oh my God.
Dude.
You're going to mess up Jesse's setup.
I almost fell in the fire. This is almost the last episode I ever did.
Serves you right from keeping
you want
secret.
to focus because I got tripped?
You have to keep secret books from me, apparently.
It's not secret books. It's just some questions.
Well, I wasn't going to look through the questions.
Well, you know what's in here? Interestingly enough, these are some questions I wrote down to ask you. And then what I have here is I used this weekend to marry our friends Chris and Lauren.
Yep.
And so I didn't want to, I could have so easily had it on my phone.
Yeah.
But tell me how horrible it would have looked if I had my phone in
Nobody
front of me.
would do that.
Yeah. Nobody?
Nobody would do that. Not.
You want not to think that people
not
would
in
do
front
that.
of like hundreds of people at a wedding. They would not do that. No way.
You shouldn't.
You shouldn't,
Yeah,
but
correct,
they wouldn't do it. No.
I'm just saying, it was an option.
But wait,
it all lived
you
here.
interrupted me. I was telling a story.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So the first question that somebody gave me.
Well, you picked up my book.
Oh my gosh. Was something like typical, like something.
Oh, people can ask you questions?
Yeah, so people were asking me questions, and then I was replying to them. And it was something about cat adoption in pairs or something. And I'm like, okay, let's go right through that one. Next question.
Sorry. Like people wanting to know why they should adopt in pairs?
No, wondering if it's more difficult for fosters to adopt out in pairs.
Oh, that's the opposite.
No, it's not the opposite.
What's that mean?
It's harder to do pairs. It's like levels. I mean, it's harder to do pairs than a single, but that rule changes if it's kittens or adults.
I thought you meant for the cat's sanity.
Oh, no. For the cat's sanity, 2 is great. But they don't have to be adopted in 2 because some households already have more than 1.
Right.
But anyways, and then the next question is, what's the best part and the worst part of marriage? Like, what? I'm
marriage
not
to me or marriage in general?
In general.
Wow.
And I'm like, I'm not an expert, kind of thing. But
I mean, are you?
No. not at all. I feel like we're doing like most people, just doing our best to survive the commitment we made.
God, are you kidding me?
You can write that on a greeting card.
No, I have this on video. This is literally evidence. What are you about to drop on me?
Nothing.
Is it a dream? Look, I've told you this, and I will say this. I don't care who hears this. There's not one day that has gone by since we've been married that I've even questioned whether I should have married you. That is, I know that's unique, and people out there that feel this way, that the way that I feel, congratulations, because we've been in other relationships that you question those things. So I'm happy. Are there ups and downs? Of course there are ups and downs. Are most of the ups and downs from external sources? Yes, they are. Mm-hmm. The typical things, money, family,
yeah,
and
stuff.
Jesse.
Work. Yeah, fucking Jesse. Dude.
Fucking Jesse.
Out of control.
Yes, I know.
So anyway, so then I was like, okay, we're going to stop there. I was like, that was a heavy question to put on my shoulders.
So do people it's just like a regular live where they can pop the question up and then you just read it?
So I put like, ask your questions here.
Yeah.
And so they ask the question and then I click on it and then, so it shows the question and I talk in a video to answer.
But here's the question. Did you answer it?
Yeah.
Okay, and what'd you say?
Just a lot of probably stuff that doesn't make sense. Like, blah, 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 blah.
No, I don't need to know.
You can watch it later. Unfortunately.
Oh, okay. And if people want to watch it, they have to go and subscribe?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. It's Mel's marriage advice. now I can pop it up. So you go to Instagram.
But you're not supposed to use your phone while you're doing this.
No. Well, I can use my phone if I am going to
relevant sources.
Mel's page and hitting on the subscribed button. And so therefore I just go and click on that. So I can watch the special stuff. Okay, so if it has this little purple thing,
that means,
I know that's subscribed content.
Yeah, that's for the subscribed content, yeah.
I hope you guys all got through it. It's been...
What are you talking about? That's not it. That's just something else.
What else?
I thought you would have like a prepared question or dialogue.
Of course I do.
Okay. Well, you're the host, so host this.
So as I was telling people, this weekend we went to a wedding, mm-hmm. and I was the officiant,
yep.
And you got upgraded from flower girl. Which, when they justified why they were going to make you a flower girl, it made sense. Okay. They said because of all the friends they have, you're the one that's most in touch with nature and loves nature, and that's why they thought you'd be the flower girl. Mm-hmm. But then someone who was pregnant couldn't make it.
Correct.
Who was in the wedding party, so you became, and you were the first person to walk down the aisle.
I know, because I was like the end slot,
yeah.
But that made me the first leader. Ugh, that was a lot of pressure.
But then they didn't replace the flower girl.
They just didn't have one, no.
I thought we could have come up with somebody. Were you literally just going to, but you would have been first by yourself.
Yeah, that would have been.
And just sprinkling flowers?
I don't know. I would have like skipped and done a twirl and tossed some stuff in the air because...
Is this the Honesty podcast?
Look,
or is that, what is this?
In order for me at my age to get down an aisle as a flower girl, which is typically the position of a...
Child.
5 to 7-year-old?
Yes. Yeah.
I would have had to drink...
Or in some cases a dog.
A lot of alcohol. Yes, I replaced a dog.
Yes.
I would have had to drink a lot to get down there by myself.
Yeah.
So it would have been a little bit different.
I mean, look, when I was a guest on the Tonight Show, I chose to not drink because I wanted to take it all in. Mm-hmm. And then when they announced my name and they opened the curtain, I walked out. I was just like, why didn't I at least have a shot? Just something. I don't care. I don't think it's cheating at all. And so, did I have some drinks before the ceremony? Yeah, I did. I got myself to exactly that same place that I am, where I get myself on stage, where I call it the 2.5 beer buzz, where I feel like I'm in control. Mm-hmm. But I feel like I've lost some of the inhibitions, not all, not too many of inhibitions, but the inhibitions to care what people think and enable myself to be myself. Because I feel like I can be genuine and funny, but then when I start to kind of worry about it, then it can change it. So if I have a drink and a half, then I start to feel good. But I don't feel it now. I don't feel nervous now.
So that's your advice.
If that's what we're calling it, sure.
I saw a video, like one of those like meme. No, it wasn't a meme. It was a woman talking, and she said something. It was something to do about people judging me for wanting to have a drink or something when I go out. But it was like, she was like, do I need to have a drink? No. But do you need to wear tennis shoes when you run? No, but it's more comfortable.
Yeah,
I was
right.
like,
That's
yeah,
right.
that's exactly
That's
it.
right. You know, it's so funny. We talked about this when we watch TV shows. Like, in so many shows, they glamorize that drink. Whether it's the husband coming home,
Yeah.
or if it's like, oh, come on to my office. What can I get you? Like that's the thing. And you and I talked about this. Like, we're doing a podcast. We're both drinking Olipop right now, and chose not to have a drink because we have stuff to do later.
Yeah,
We
I
have
still
to-
got plenty of work and stuff to do after
I got
this.
work to do.
Like,
I
I
got some calls
can't.
to make, and so
I can't be drinking at 7:00 at night.
Yeah. Okay, that just made us sound really old.
I know.
This is not quite 7. But it's interesting because when we started doing this podcast, didn't we have people over? What is that? Is that a termite?
I couldn't tell.
It's very big.
Can't bother Jesse to check the
Jesse-
bugs
It's a bug.
that go to your
Jesse-
lights.
No.
Jesse and I are both very into bugs.
But you're making him like look into the sun.
He wanted to. Trust me. I know what he wants. Our first meeting was a 5-mile nature walk. So just like Mad Men and all those kind of things, it's just kind of funny.
Oh, it's all like you can't watch something without seeing like a mom or a woman with a glass of wine at
Yeah.
the end of the day, or friends having wine at lunch.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
I just came from this meeting where I was talking about this talk show, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to gang them up together.
I think that's a moth.
Well, they're gonna moth. No, I think it's, what are they called? It's a long body.
Is it green?
Begins with a C. It's a termite.
Yeah.
It's a
Wait,
termite.
what?
Can you see it?
Yeah,
now?
I can see it.
Sorry,
Like-
cut. Let's read. No. What was I talking about?
but you were at a meeting.
I was at a meeting,
Talking
and
about
it
stuff.
was about this talk show that, as you know, we've been talking, as all of us know, we've been talking about this for a while. It's a project that we've been developing. And I was just there at the soundstage and talking with everybody, and they're trying to make the budget work. And in order to do that, we'd shoot 3 in a day.
Yeah.
And they do shows like Hollywood Squares and stuff like that, these quick format ones, or like Jeopardy or Wheel of Fortune. They do that because it's all lit, people are there. Yeah, sure, they'll shoot a week's worth in a day. That's not that big of a deal. But like for a talk show, we're having to engage and ride these ups and downs. Like right now, I'm on. Like, you know, I'm not always like as this energetic.
Correct.
But you have to be this energetic on camera, and we are possibly, it'll be a drinking related show. So I can't go in there, shoot an episode, drink, even if I have 2 drinks,
Oh,
and then
remember
come
when we
down,
had to do that?
get a headache.
Remember we had to do that behind the scenes, talking.
That's exactly right.
That was
So we did that
horrible.
for 4 sheets.
I had like a hangover an hour and a half in
the middle of it.
and we had like 5 hours to go. It
So
was
that's exactly
terrible.
what we did. We did 3 shoots back to back to back, and we kind of rode them, but then we had to go back and do it the next day, and they want me to do this 5 days a week. And I was just like, guys, the first thing we need to say in this meeting is I can't, I can do 2, I can't do 3. Push it, Mike. You're fine. So anyway, it's not to say I don't enjoy having a cocktail, and I might have one after I'm done with my stuff, but it's kind of tough to do it in the middle of the day because I get tired. Maybe I didn't when I was younger. Maybe I could have had like a beer at 1 and then been fine. But I
Yeah.
think it always makes me tired.
Yeah, me too.
Burning questions that people want to know. This is important, and
Is this
I think
a poll you took or questions you made up?
this was a poll that came unto itself because of a podcast that I did.
Okay.
And the question is, if people have been following this podcast, what they want to know is, why do you keep testicles in the refrigerator?
Well, you know, when you told people that,
Yeah.
I had people be like, what? Dude, like, do you seriously do that? Like, what are you talking about? That is so gross. Like, they were, like, upset about it. So
You're reading their inflection. Okay, I see
you
it. If they
need
said
to
the word
be
gross.
more accurate when you give information out, because it made it sound like I'm this mad scientist and you open this dark cave refrigerator in the garage and it's just fucking lined with body parts. It's exactly what it sounded like. When the truth is that I've kept...
says testicles. She keeps testicles in the fridge. I don't know where her brain is going.
But you're saying, when you say...
All of a sudden, Army Hammer showed up.
You're making it sound like more than one set.
Are there not two?
No, there's just one set.
Why do you keep testicles in the refrigerator?
Because
if you listen to the way I asked that question, it was not insinuating that it was in a dark place. It does not say 4. It just says
But that's how
multiple.
people took it, and they think I'm like a crazy lady.
Okay. Hold on a second.
You make me crazy.
Okay, here we go. Mel, why do you keep testicles in the fridge?
Okay.
I'm just going to go back to the question.
Okay.
You can read into it, or you could answer the actual question.
A long time ago, when I got that particular set, it's not common that I don't take a cat to a chop shop where they just go in and...
That sounds horrible. What is it? What's a chop shop?
I
know.
A quick, cheap spay neuter where they just take 100 or 200 cats a day and they're just turning and burning, and there's no, they don't know the cat. It's just as fast as possible. It goes. And
as
so,
opposed to, and so it's
opposed
cheaper.
to a vet.
Supposed to a vet
where you know the doctor, you talk to the doctor.
Yeah.
And so it was Willoughby. This last set was Willoughby's. And I remember thinking, I bet they're so cute because he's so cute. And I was like, I wonder what they look like. And it was a science thing, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, can I have those? And they're like, of course you can have them. Anything else you want? And so they put them in a little floating jar and put them in the refrigerator. Mm-hmm. And you can throw them away anytime. I mean, I don't notice them. They're literally in a shelf of the refrigerator next to probably some kind of seasoning that I haven't touched in 10 years.
Okay, I'm just going to go back to the question. Why?
Because they were cute.
There we go. That's it.
They're little tiny peas.
That's amazing.
There's your bug.
There's your bug. Identify as it flies by you.
They're just like little tiny peas.
Yeah. And then now they're in there, and
so if I throw them away, it would be insultive to Willie because those are his.
No, it's kind of just like
they're not gonna move with me or anything.
No. I don't think they'll move with us, but it is a moment in time.
Yeah, they're
forgetting
cute.
about the fact of what it is. It's always like this when it's like. Sorry to get too heady, but it's like when a dog or cat passes, part of your emotion, part of what you feel, is your own mortality, because this is a chapter of your life that can never happen again. It's done. So when the pet dies, it reminds you that you too are mortal. This is your life is moving forward.
I don't know that I would have gone
that
deep. They were just cute little balls.
They're cute little balls.
But I also kept...
No, but then why don't you...
there's not a lot of stuff you can keep after a procedure. So I kept Scooter's teeth when he had all his teeth pulled.
Okay.
Stuff like that.
Okay.
It's interesting.
Now starting to sound dark and dingy like the picture you were painting earlier.
No, It's just a little container of teeth.
Okay, great. Okay, so they're cute. Got it. So I went to...
Are you going to come out of this looking like a psychotic idiot?
No. It's
Yes.
completely opposite.
Jesse's going to make me look like an idiot.
If you come out of this looking like an idiot, it's because of something Jesse did.
Exactly.
It's nothing that I'm doing.
Yeah.
You did. Yeah. We've made this clear. If you want to know where we live specifically, take off from Burbank Airport, and in about 17 seconds after you lift up off the ground, you're above our house. There you go. Don't come over. So we okay. Where do I go from here? Let's talk about
What else awkward could you ask?
well, let's just say that this is all what I'm about to ask is a hypothetical. It's not something you did. It's kind of like when O.J. Simpson wrote a book. It was called If I Did It. Mm-hmm. He's not saying he did do it, but if he did it, this is how he did it. And this is an actual book that he wrote, and then they had to pull off the shelves because it was literally him spilling out how he did it.
Like maybe or may not have murdered somebody.
So this is a crime that you committed. Purportedly, This is we're making something up. This isn't something you did. You didn't
what are you
in fact.
talking about, dude?
You didn't in fact mail weed. Okay, so I went to Golden Seed, which is one of our friends' companies, and I did stand up there. And one of the activities that you have is it was like almost like an adult. What do you use, like a county fair kind of a thing? Yeah, like there were hay bales and stuff around, and like
definitely
there was
picturing like a Hallmark fall harvest show.
Kind of.
Okay.
Kind of. I mean,
Sounds
it was
great.
all hay, and then yeah. Hallmark as in not high budge. Yeah.
Aw.
And there was a picnic table where you could. What were they doing? Rolling joints? Yeah. And so they had just a big bag of weed.
Okay.
And so.
Like for free, you could just walk up and take some?
Yep.
Okay.
And it wasn't hemp. It was like legit, like one of their. I think it was like a frozen margarita or chocotini or the other one. Strawberry daiquiri.
Wait, Jesse, you were there?
Yeah, he videotaped it, and so he'll get pulled into this at some point, and so
Thank God I'm not alone here.
no, you're not alone. And so at the end of the night, everyone left. It got dark, and then we started wrapping lights, and I was just like, that table still has a bunch of weed on it, like a lot of weed. And by the way, the weed, I brought it home. You know this, like it was so spongy and so not what I bought in college. This dry, just flaky oregano stuff. This was like mushy and just like had an atmosphere about it. It smelled so strong. And so the last place that we were at, like in the green room, which was their office, they go, "We got you
Of course
snacks."
it was.
And they got all these snacks, and it was at Dying Breed Brewing in Elk Grove. Is that right? Elk Grove? Is that what it's called? What's it called? I get it confused. Elk Grove with
Modesto?
yeah, with the one outside Modesto. Dying Breed Brewing, and so their green room was a trailer, like an RV, and they got me all these Pringles,
Yes.
and so I took a Pringle, so I'd eaten some. I had empty Pringles cans, those mini ones.
Oh, you're the one that put it in there?
Yeah.
Oh, that was
And so I
creative.
just walked up. I go boom, 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 and then they had another little jar, and I took that, and so I brought it home, and I had 2 Pringles jars, and then another little container. And you're like, oh, I'm gonna send it to my sister, and Jesse wanted one too. So I was like, all right, I'll give you one to Jesse, and you can have one, and you send it to your sister and to your friend Megan, and in order to do that, you didn't just mail it.
You're like literally incriminating me right now.
If you did it, here's how you would have done it. You didn't
If-
actually do it.
In my lifetime, I was ever to mail weed.
Oh no! It's like if you literally did it last week. not like we're not going
Look,
all like.
Things didn't used to be as easy as they are
Uh-huh.
now. Weed wasn't something you just came by because you were walking to the vet and you walked by 10 stores trying
Right.
to sell it.
Right.
And it's certainly different from picking up the phone on my wall
Okay.
and calling Chronic J,
Chronic J.
and meeting him on Mission Boulevard.
Yeah. And the downside of Chronic J, as you've told me, is that you'd have to have a conversation with him.
Yes.
It's like, bro, I just want to take your weed, give you money,
Yes.
walk away, but you're making this like
Yeah, he
an
wanted
awkward,
to chill and hang out.
Yeah.
and- yeah.
Let's light one.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, no, maybe not. Like, I might have to get a new Chronic dude.
Yeah. So, back in days of yore,
Mm-hmm. That makes you sound old.
well, I mean, we're talking about things that are 20 years ago,
Okay.
you know? I had friends that smoked a lot of weed, and what?
Including?
At a time, I in my 20s?
Yeah.
20s I smoked, yeah.
You graduated
Oh, God.
from, is it UCSD? Is that how you?
go to jail if you keep talking.
Is it San Diego State? Is that UCSD?
No, that's a totally different
What is it
school.
called? What is it called?
San Diego State University.
San Diego State.
Yeah.
You went there, and your GPA was something about, what was it?
4.1. when I
4.1.
finished, yeah.
And did you usually go to classes stoned or not stoned? People want to know you.
Stoned.
Stoned.
Yeah.
Stoned.
Yeah.
And managed to get that.
Yeah, and worked
Yeah.
3
If you
jobs at the
took-
same time.
If you took like 2 semesters, I had a 4.1 if you added those 2 numbers together. And I didn't, and I never went
In
to
all the years.
in all the years. And I never, ever would I go to class stoned or would I go on stage stoned. Hell no. What if you got called on? Do you
But
you smoke so much you kind of built it up? And
oh
like,
yeah, I think I was a functioning person. I would smoke and do homework and smoke and clean the house and that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So it was more of a lifestyle
maybe I
back
should
then.
make you smoke more so you clean the house.
No, things are definitely changed now.
Okay.
But
My wife packages these every week, and these are s'mores, and she puts them together in the kitchen, and she brings them out. She never wants to be on camera, but she always comes says hi to the guests.
Yeah.
And this is what she looks like, and this is what she makes.
You're handing it to me?
Yeah.
I can't do two things at once.
Talk?
And roast?
Fine.
Okay.
I can.
I don't even remember where we were at. Okay, so at this point in my life, now officially on TV or the internets, you've made me sound like a loser stoner that collects cat body parts.
If Jesse chooses to edit this episode together in such a way, then yes, he can make you look like that.
So
with the actual words
I think
that you
we
said.
have to, with the stories that you've told, we have to like preface this with, I worked very hard. And I worked 3 jobs, and I had my apartment, and I put myself through college on my own.
Yeah.
And
you had higher than an A GPA. So great. And you went to Class Stone. It doesn't matter. It's the result. And yes, you paid for yourself to go to college, and you didn't have any student loans because you had jobs the entire time. Amazing. However, you were high most of it. It's completely fine. I'm just saying maybe I should have gotten high. The only time I ever got high in college, I got arrested for it and thrown in jail. Like, what are you talking
I
about?
don't even know how that happens.
But
the point is, you were talking about the postal system and how weed used to travel. And so most of the weed in those days was coming from up north, Mendocino, that kind of area. And people would drive it down. But we had friends in Southern California.
Wow, you had such better weed than I had in upstate New York. I'm telling
sure,
you, dude, mine
we
was
had
just...
that border weed, the
had
Oregon border.
You had like good weed. By the time it got to me, this is no joke, it was literally just dry and crumbly.
It's probably like other kind of plants were in it and stuff.
Of course. Of course. I mean, no, we would get stoned. But, okay. So, again, I have a Pringles jar. You have a Pringles jar. And
if they wanted to have some weed, which I'm not saying that they would want, but when I lived in San Diego, and those were my friends, they smoked a lot of weed, way more than I ever
got
smoked.
this. That's fine.
Way more.
I want you to know that not only is it legal now, but you sound very cool, and you don't have to defend anything you've done.
I'm okay with not being cool.
But you took...
If somebody wanted to mail weed to a friend, the best way to do that...
No, it's way too hypothetical.
This whole situation is hypothetical.
No, it's not, because it actually happened.
It did not happen.
Did not hit me
I
with
have a
your switch.
device that reaches you because...
Don't
that's like a federal law.
Okay. So you sent a picture of the weed to your sister Jessica and your friend Megan and said, yo, look what I scored. Zane came back. Zane's cool for one moment.
Definitely not
and
what I
they're
said.
like, oh my God. And you're like, do you want some? And you're like, yes. So that was your plan. And you...
But I definitely did not say anything like that. I was way cooler.
That's fine. But I get the gist of it.
Okay.
And then you... if you want, while I'm talking, you can put a marshmallow on your stick. And then you...
This is the longest story about nothing.
I know, because...
Do you do this with all of your podcast guests? Like, just talk two stories that take 30 minutes?
No, I don't think that they feel comfortable interrupting me this much. But you want to split this bar with me here?
Yeah, of course.
And so anyway, okay, now I'll get to the end of the story. So you took... I was going to have you tell it, but it was taking too long.
No, I will tell it, but you're so interrupty, and you're also dangerous with the amount of information you give. You have to respect secrecy and laws.
Okay. So, it's not like you just put it into an envelope and sent it.
No,
you went and bought bags of coffee.
Coffee beans.
Coffee beans.
Whole coffee beans, yeah.
Like you were sending cocaine across the border. And in fact, you were just sending weed inside of California. And then you went and you each wrote them individual packages.
Yeah.
And then what did you write on your sister's package?
I think hers said, we love our teachers.
Yeah. Yes. Enjoy this coffee. We love our teachers.
Yeah. Yep, and then the other one was something about nurses.
Yes. We appreciate nurses.
So you have to bag it a couple times, and then you remove some of the beans and you put it in the middle of the dark coffee beans, the strongest roast you can get, so an espresso roast.
Right.
And then you reseal the bag.
Okay.
And then you put it in the mail with like
this isn't
some
you
other
trinkets. You're making it sound like you're following some sort of formula. This is your idea. This isn't how it's done.
Oh,
this is how
I'm sure it's how it was done.
Again, it's okay.
That's how it's been done.
So here's the thing. So you sent it off. You had to how much was the coffee
Oh my
bag.
God, the coffee was so expensive. It was like $16 a bag.
Okay, $16 for coffee. How much was theoretically would postage have been if one were to do that?
Like $5.
No, more than that. Really?
$5, yeah.
Okay.
Not much.
So now we're at we're at $20.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine. Or $25, call it. All in. And so I was just like, they both live in California. They could literally walk out their door and go to a dispensary and just buy it. But you just kind of put some of the old timey
nostalgia.
fun, the nostalgia fun in it.
Yeah.
But then Jesse let me know that in each one of those cans is an ounce.
Oh, he
Right?
like weighed it out.
Yeah, he weighed it out.
That's very
and then their stuff is pretty expensive, and so it was like they sell an eighth for like, what was it, 50, 75? Somewhere around there. Yeah, so we just kind of figured out that was actually about $500 worth of weed. Yeah. So you sent them each about $250, or hypothetically $250 worth of weed. So it actually, I thought it was like such a waste, this huge thing that you were going through, but it turned out to actually be kind of funny. All right.
Funny. That's the way it was done.
And frugal. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, they're like never. Who knows if they're even gonna smoke it? It was like it's just
exactly
the
right.
memories,
Yes.
you know.
Yes.
And it was funny, like being able to text them and
It was funny.
And what else were we gonna do with it?
Well, we gave some to Jesse, and then he
God.
distributed it through some of his friends, and then you smoked some. A little bit. And then you said it was very strong. And you said one of your friends who smokes regularly gave it like a very good, oh, damn it.
Ooh,
An A+ rating?
Thumbs up.
Said it was top tier shit.
That's pretty good.
Good for
That's good for Gold
for,
Seed. Yeah.
for bench top sweep random weed into my Pringles jar.
I mean, but the thing is like where they were growing it, we were like between greenhouses. You know that? Yeah, sorry, I'm eating a s'more now.
You can eat and talk at the same time.
No, marshmallow didn't really melt as much as I wanted to, so I'm just kind of
I have
pretending
a
like
hard
it's...
time not burning it.
You know why?
What?
What you need is not an open flame like this. You need,
Like real coals stuff, like wood.
Yeah.
I need a piece of wood.
like, if we did it, we should have wood.
Yeah.
We can't have wood here because we're in California, where we are allowed to have,
Where weed is legal.
where weed is legal and open flames are not, because the entire state is flammable.
Makes sense. Jesse's like, she keeps moving in her chair, and I have to keep refocusing.
No, you are wait.
tell
You didn't
us
move away
it's
from your
up?
mic though.
I know, but I have to lean forward.
You spin it.
I
Perfect.
have to lean forward to roast this thing.
If I can dig just a little bit deeper into this, I think people will find it interesting to know that Steve Perry lived down the street from you.
Well, he was born there, and his parents lived there, but by my age, he visited, but he didn't live there.
But you remember seeing him?
Yeah.
Do you remember the idea of seeing him? Like in your mind, what is it?
Him with some friends on the side, pulling up to the side yard to come walk and talk to my dad about car stuff.
Because your dad is a motorhead,
Yeah.
and they probably weren't as much of motorheads because they were musicians. They probably
They
had
had
to get something
motorcycles and cars and stuff, you know, and so
Yeah.
I think it was more like that was the guy you came to fix stuff.
fixed. Your dad.
Yeah.
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 Probably
Everything.
still is.
Probably.
And so, but you would have been very young,
Yeah.
and he would have been like at his peak.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, for
I have
sure.
to look at the years. Yeah. I don't know.
Journey is probably like I'm completely making this up, but I think Journey probably was at their height because they probably broke up in 1984, 3, something like that.
Okay.
So you would have been
So
like
then 5,
let's
6.
Let's say your age. I don't know.
What?
I said, were you allowed to say your age? So yeah, you were allowed.
So
You were
it's
around
like-
5 or 6. Yeah.
I don't know.
And he'd come back to visit his mom
I
and
feel
stuff like
like
that.
that was older. He was older. Maybe he was already broken up by the time he was
It
there.
didn't matter. He
Yeah.
was. Then he went off on his solo career and whatever. Anyway, can you have him be a guest on my show? Thanks. Okay. So.
Man, you're like the stranger asking me for marital advice today. Like,
You know.
you're being all serious.
Well, I just want to get through a few things. Here's something that I would really like to talk about. Well, I think this is interesting. I think
Rethink it.
No. I think it's. Here's the thing. I was doing a podcast with Steve.
Okay.
Steve's been my best friend for 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so Steve and I have one of those dynamics where we can say anything. Like we could literally, one of those friends you can call up with no agenda and be like, "What's going on?" "Oh, nothing. What'd you do today?" But like literally just if you want to just make it some small talk. That's something that like it takes a long time for guys to get to, especially guys at my age. It'd be very difficult for me to find a friend at this age that I could get to that level with because of everything that Steve and I have been through.
That's the same thing with me. I couldn't find a friend like that. No way.
What about Jesse? For me.
You want him to be your friend? I don't think he wants to be, man. You got some heavy shit you're about to lay on him.
So, like what? Okay, so I just wanted to have, like, I wanted to do a podcast with Steve because of the dynamic that he brings.
Okay.
He's not, and he never has been on the show, like, the guy who's bringing in this, like, amazing
Look, I made like a stringy candy.
What is that?
It's like the marshmallow string.
Eat
It's
it?
like, yeah.
It's not part of the stick?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like candy.
Good. So I've been trying to force this square peg into a round hole for a while, and that is Steve.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And so I've tried to pick it up with him several times, even when he's like lived in Pennsylvania. Now he's living in Park City, Utah.
If I eat this, you're gonna like put this on camera when you're eating.
Well, I'll try to talk during it, but yeah, people want to know how you eat. and so I've been trying to make it work. And I'd love to have a podcast where I can sit down with guests and celebrities, people that I don't know, and get to know them. And having a podcast is a great opportunity to like have somebody on who maybe is an artist that you like and that you can kind of meet and talk to and be in this very intimate, situation. But this isn't something like you'd have. It's like Dan Lissing. Dan Lissing was my last guest. He's a great friend. We're both very busy. It's not like we'll be like, hey, let's get together and get a beer. I mean, we would, but we're just so busy. But like, we made time to do this podcast and catch up a little bit. And then when the cameras are off, we catch up a little bit more. But then that's it. So I liked having this format of a podcast. And I also want to have a podcast that I can be a little personal. Which, by the way, is very much like the conversation we're having. Because you're more here as my wife than a guest necessarily.
Somebody interesting?
No, you're not somebody that I need to get to know.
Okay.
You're somebody that I want other people to know, and we can sit here and talk about things that are personal to us. So that's why I thought it'd be fun if we did. These a little stale? Are these the vegan ones?
No.
Okay. And I thought it'd be interesting if we had a podcast, you and I, and we either call it Podcats, the Podcats podcast, or the Catio, where we just kind of sit and talk about it. And we did this today. We talked about this today because you had to bring Pumpkin to the vet, and Pumpkin freaks out, and so you brought me.
Yeah.
Because your mouth is full. I'll say your rock, your anchor, your what are you throwing stuff?
Yeah.
And so I went there to kind of help you with Pumpkin, and then we talked to Dr. Mike, and Dr. Mike is one of my very good friends, and who's also our veterinarian, and we were talking about his podcast, and I was talking about having you on there too. So that's something that we could sit here and explore.
Is this you saying, "Hey"?
I'm not trying to put you.
Hey, I want you to do a podcast.
No, because I said that to you before.
And I said
that you don't like being in front of the camera.
Correct.
But I thought maybe being on this would make you feel like, because I think you and by the way, rightfully so, you just feel like
you're analyzing me now.
No. well, I don't. I'm trying to say this without sounding analytical.
Okay.
But that like you don't want to be judged. You want people to you'd love for your voice to be heard and sit here and have a conversation, but you don't want for people to say like, oh my God, what's she doing with her hair? Oh my God, whatever. just the bullshit that people normally say. And I like to entertain people to the point where that doesn't bother me. I know that people are going to do that, but I don't care about it.
I think it's more than that.
You're more of a behind the camera person. I'm more in front of the person.
Yeah, you're somebody who's always been like, I can do that play. I can take a picture of me, put me on camera. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not that person. I would die before being on stage. I don't want my picture taken.
Yeah.
That's just the way I am. So yeah, it's some of that. And a little bit of what you touched on. And I don't like airplanes.
I'm not sure you love airplanes.
As far as people being judgy, being on social media, you kind of are stuck with that. And, and I already get enough meanness involved with cats and judgment on cats. And if you are doing enough or doing too much, and that I don't need to open it up anymore.
Okay.
And stress myself out even more.
I mean, look, I think.
But also, I don't have the time, to take a day a week to put on makeup and get dressed and spend.
Dressed.
This is dressed.
Yeah.
And to think and to get through the day nervously thinking, oh my God, I have a podcast tonight. Oh my God, I have a podcast
have you been
tonight.
worried about this?
Yes.
Why?
I just don't.
Because of the reasons we're talking about?
Yeah. And so it's just not worth it to me to put myself through that when I have so much other stuff to be doing in there right now.
Yeah.
Let alone, gosh forbid, I give myself time to do something.
I love how you said the word fuck earlier, and now you just said gosh forbid.
Did I say it? Did I say the F word?
You did.
Jesse, cut out any F words.
No, I mean, look, but you're having fun. God damn it. But you're having fun. You are? No, I know you're having fun. All right, well, we'll see. We'll see how the ratings are on this, because at some point you're on just...
This is you saying, this is a guy. I know what I want you to do. I just got to figure out how to make you do it.
No, I need to figure out how to make it your idea. That's exactly right.
This is like, this is another guy thing that is killing me right now with you. And you're on tour all the time, right? Okay. And while you're on tour, I'll tell you at random things about the house, like the ice maker's not working, the drain of this isn't draining right. And every time I mention something and it just comes up, you'll be like, Mel, there's nothing I can do about that right now. Okay. Just put it on a list. Give it to me when I get home. I'll take care of it then. I'm out on the road. I can't handle this. There's nothing I can do anyways. And I'll be like, okay.
Wow, it sounds like a real jerk.
And then you get home, and I have this list on the counter, and I'm like, I don't want to hand it to him today. I'll give it another day. Maybe give it one more day because I need to give it to him at the right time. And then I finally give you this list. And what do you say? I travel all the time. The first thing you do when I get home is hand me this list of chores to do. Like, that's what I want to do when I get home after being on the road.
That's what I said.
So there is that is exactly you. There is no way to win that.
It sounds like something I would say, but I did not
say
that.
That is you. There's no way to win this situation because this happens like every month.
Yeah.
And so that list is still sitting on the table.
It is. Well, it's on the kitchen island.
You've been here for like 6 days, and not a single item has been done, minus the tiny easy thing that you wrote in pencil and then crossed out.
Which is what?
Something stupid. Like, didn't even make sense. It's probably like, get myself a soda.
Put socks away.
Yeah.
How did you spin that? How did you spin my question into that? That's amazing.
Things that men ask for and don't want.
But I'm asking you to. But I'm saying I think it'd be fun if we did a podcast together.
I'm saying I'm not going to do it.
But you're doing it right now.
I told you I would do one for you.
Yeah, you did.
That was like a compromise. And isn't that what marriage is about? Compromising so that I do hardly anything I want to do and do all your stuff all the time?
You should have used that on your as your response today.
Advice?
Earlier,
yeah.
Your marriage advice. Let me see if I have anything left. I probably think we're running out of time, so I probably need to bring you back again on the show. And then next time, to make it easier for you, we'll just do it up on the catio.
No, I'm not going to.
you remember what happened? Well, we're 40. Yeah.
Yeah, but he might need to cut out a lot. There's so much rambling on these things.
I don't think there's much to cut out.
It's a lot of rambling.
Are you gonna cut out? How much are you gonna cut out? No.
Oh my God, Jesse, you need to cut out like 20 minutes.
You have made it through the podcast.
Thank you.
I think you were a fantastic guest.
Oh, God.
And I'm honored to be your husband. And I appreciate you for supporting me coming on this podcast.
Yeah, but now I have to literally lay in bed tonight and be like, oh my fucking God, I cannot believe I said that. I cannot believe he brought that up.
I promise you, if there's anything that was said stupid, it came from me. And
But I might be arrested now.
that I might have other motives for getting you arrested so that I can just have a house with 13 cats to myself
To take
and don't
care
have
of?
Yeah, and I get to take care of them myself. Not gonna happen.
I don't know.
All
I
right.
feel like people went into this thinking that I was a nice, quiet person.
I still
And
think you
now
are.
they think I'm like a body part collecting drug dealer.
Okay, you keep bringing this up.
Because you brought it up as those questions. You should have never said that on the last podcast.
Part of doing a podcast is just being real, and in order to get people to watch your podcast, you have to put a piece of yourself out there. You have to put.
But you
yourself
put me. You put pieces of me out there.
piece of yourself. I put a piece of you out there for people to hypothesize about, so that I had a reason to bring you on here and clear the air. So we cleared the air of why you have 2 testicles and found out that you also have teeth in there, and then
They're not in the refrigerator. Oh my God.
Okay, that's fine.
This is just going nowhere. It's getting worse.
I feel like you just recently got something removed. Did you keep Scooter's penis?
No, I did not. And I would not have asked for that. Because I watched that surgery on Animal Planet and it traumatized me.
Yeah. Scooter, one of our cats, had to have what's called PU surgery, where he had so many urinary tract blockages that they're like, this is chronic. It's just going to keep happening. So they had to actually remove his penis. So at one point his balls were gone, then his penis is gone.
I mean, that description's not completely accurate, but fine.
It's fine. It's a layman's term. And then layman's description. And then he had to wear a cone for a month. And then he finally take the cone off and he looks down and he's like, put my dick back. You can't. Where's my dick? Like, he doesn't understand that it's removed.
he was
it's a permanent
watching-
thing.
he was
He's a
watching
cat. He's like, put
Pumpkin
it back.
go
All
to-
right. I'm gonna turn my head around, and when I look back, my dick's there. That's all I care about.
He was looking at Pumpkin when Pumpkin went to the vet today and was like, sorry, brother.
Cover your dick, bro. Yeah. All right. Thanks, baby. I love you.
You're welcome.
You did a good job.
Thanks. Watch out for the marshmallow.